Hello, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are at the table here in Akron, Ohio. We are the 1611 King James Bible Prophecy Church. I'm Tom Thompson, your reader. Now, we were just discussing that film that we viewed of the witches' ritual that was protesting the Bohemian Grove Club. So they're right outside the club, and the one leading it was a rabbi. You could tell by his attire. And as he was praying, he was using the Kabbalist hand gestures. I can see it like yesterday. The lady was down in the middle of the road with the cauldron, stirring it counterclockwise. And there they all sang and danced, and they praised the mystery goddess. And whatever she touches, she changes. They were chanting, harmonizing together. And it's a good example of Satan not being able to cast out Satan, because here they are with the power of Satan thinking that they're going to cast out Satan. Obviously, that did not occur because the agenda keeps going on. The Bohemian Grove ritual keeps going on, and those people inside kept their agenda up. But here we're going to go into some more strong meat. The desolate temple back there in 23 in verse 38. Well, now he's going to get more plain speaking about this destruction. And then we get into the prophecies about the last days, as he's asked about what is the sign or signs of his coming and his kingdom to be set up. Not the spiritual kingdom that is inside of all of us, but the actual physical New Jerusalem. Verse 1 in chapter 24 in St. Matthew. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings, plural, of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? ? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So that's plain English, with a new paragraph mark in 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? ? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? ? For, and Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. Okay, that's the first time he says that here in this St. Matthew chapter 24. But that is a big deal right there, because the age of deception is here. The lies, there's no law against lying on the news. They get caught lying and nothing happens. That's because they revoked all the laws against propaganda. And when it comes to propaganda, it doesn't matter whether it's true or untrue. It can, or whether it just happened, or whether they set it up to happen. It doesn't matter as long as it moves their agenda forward. Deception here, folks. Okay? And that's how come we get clean with the doctrine, which has not changed over these thousands of years. 5. Now, we're talking about the same people we were discussing in 23, the phonies. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Okay, there's deception again. That has been going on, I mean to tell you, like the Lord Maitreya and Benjamin Creme. And here there was this Maitreya figure, and it was thrown out into Christian circles Maitreya Buddha, and this Benjamin Creme had all the money just pouring into him. That's a big sign that he's an imposter. And this Lord Maitreya, he went around and he's going to make his appearance to the world. Oh, he's going to have everything. But the thing about it is, Benjamin Creme didn't believe in Lord Maitreya. He was a hardcore Satanist. And the film, one of the last films I saw Benjamin Creme speaking, he just came from the UN, speaking at the UN. And he's talking about this world leader that's going to take over the world, and that's just poured out into the Christian community. They're hiding the real Antichrist, folks, with that. But yet these Antichrist figures have, they've arisen all over the place. All over the place. I mean, you just look at them. They're all pointing at themselves, many of them ruling over people, many of them killing people. So anyway, it doesn't take much to notice these self-proclaimed Antichrist figures, because it started clear back there in the time of John. It kept growing, the spirit of the Antichrist. All right, now we go to this period of time that we're still in. We're almost to the tribulation now, folks. We're within spitting distance away. But here is what we call the beginning of sorrows. Okay, that's the time period we are in. 6, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Period. Okay, now, folks, should I have to say anything about this? You got them advertising the ram and the he-goat. They're bombing each other. There's all these so-called wars. There's secret wars, quiet wars. Secret weapons for quiet wars where people are attacked by shipping drugs in the community. You got the military exercises and threats, and they're shaking the spear at each other. But we're told, do not let your heart be troubled. Okay? Because it's going to be a peace agreement that is going to bring in the tribulation. But here it comes again in 7, that number, that Shabuel. We've been talking about that. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Now, I don't have to go into any of that, do I? Folks, I know you have eyes, and I know you have ears, so we could discuss that one line and why we're in this age right here. Even looking at the earthquakes. You can go to the earthquake center and see them all gauged all around the world and how they're increasing. Pestilences, there is pestilence out here. It's growing. Everything from poison ivy everywhere, to the bugs, to the ticks, to the mosquitoes, to the mice. Okay? But what about this time period here in 7 and 8? All these are the beginning of sorrows. That's the time period. That starts up there in 6, runs down here through 8. Okay, but what about this? Well, it's called Christian persecution. In 9, it says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And they've done a good job of this. They have these fake Christians, like Paula White and Kenneth Copeland and all these people they're billionaires and they're horrible people and they do all kinds of foul stuff and they destroy the Bible. And when people look at it, they run the other way. I don't want to be one of them. And Paula White, again, I said, she come right out there in public and said, I'm going to get on my broom and fly away. I wish she would. Okay, and now here's going to be the people that are going to go right along with the popular hatred. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And that's what I'm saying. We're not all one. That Satan is causing people their natural affection for human beings to go away. A mother will leave her baby laying on the sidewalk and walk off. Throw it in the trash can. Why, you look at these old histories here where the people, these women would have gave their life in a heartbeat for that child. 11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. So there they are. People are following them. People are following all the great leaders, phony leaders. If you just sit back for a minute and look, they have the fruit of a deceiver sticking out every year. So I don't want to get bogged down on naming them. They're all over the place, on and off the pulpit. Now, how do they get this off? How can they have this happen? How can a senator get up and do a twerk on national TV and then still have an office? She did. It's because in 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So there it is. You want to be a foul idol worshiper and a sex cult member? Well, you're going to be in a pile of hatred and incapable of real love. So the real natural love that people have is getting cold and colder by the day. But what about to us? The people that have stayed firm with their King James Bible. 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Okay, go to Revelations, and which we're soon to do on our Sunday thing, our Sunday Bible study, and you'll see the angel that goes around the firmament of the earth one last time to declare the gospel, and then comes the end. All right. 15, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. Okay, so we've been over the abomination that maketh desolate. That is an occult shrine, an occult idol set up there on the Temple Mount. And this one will speak to the world, and he'll have a holy man to the Antichrist called the false prophet. Anyway, that's all in Daniel 9. But here's our instructions when we see this unholy beast in Jerusalem speaking to the world. 16, it says, then let them which be in Judea flee to the mountains. Okay, that's one order. Why? Because the armies of the world are going to come in there. The Battle of Armageddon, the second sickle, is going to come in. And the armies of the world are going to attack Jerusalem and attack Israel. 17, let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Okay? All right. So there you are. You're up there looking for Christ as he circles the firmament. And his angels will gather all the wheat into the barn, and you want to be there. 18, it says, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. Okay? See, this is just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, now in 19, here's one that's repeated in different parts of the prophecies about how hard it is for the mothers who haven't lost their love for their children. how hard it's going to be here in these last days to take care of that child. Keep it up, Mom. Don't let them push you. You stay strong. Okay, back to the scripture. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. All right, now in the earlier scriptures, I was talking about the seasons. And you got to look at the tribulation through seasons here in this similitude. The seasons, summer, that's when spring, it's first getting started. The birth pains have increased. We're about to deliver. Summer, things are growing as far as this wickedness here on earth. But the church is growing. But look, it says on the Sabbath day here in 20. So let's read it. But pray ye that your flight, that's your call up hither, be not in the winter. Okay, that's at the end of the year. Neither on the Sabbath day. Okay, that's the last day of the week. So think of it again in a Shabuel, in a 2,300 day week of years. So you want your flight, your call up hither that we just been talking about, to be before the final death there at the Battle of Armageddon. And you know what? That prayer's coming true. Because that is true. That's when it's going to happen. It's going to happen before that horrifying day of the Battle of Armageddon. Okay, 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And we're going to study Revelations again, and we're going to get a good bird's eye view of what that statement in 21, the amount of what? Plagues in the book of Revelation. The seals, the trumpets, and the vials. And there'll never be anything like it again, folks. 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Yeah, see, Satan wants to destroy all flesh, not only that, but destroy the world. Christ is not going to let that happen. And there's going to be flesh that's going to make it all the way through. We got good descriptions of it here in the Bible of the people that they're not called up hither. They stay down here and they make it through all this. Okay? So God will not allow Satan to destroy the firmament of the earth, and he will not allow Satan to destroy all flesh. 23. But here's some more advice. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe not. Okay? So there's the guy like Maitreya, who's here and he's there and he's in London. And no. Is he in secret chambers? No. In 24 here we say, For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. That's why we have to study, folks. I've said it before. You can't go by what the guy on the pulpit's telling you at all. He's leading you right to the table, right to the throne of the Antichrist. That's where he's taking you. Now, he may not know that. He may believe everything's coming out of his mouth. But I'm telling you, that's where the religious people working for the UN at that World Council of Churches, they are taking you to the Antichrist and world government. But the reason we will not be deceived, folks, is because we know the Scriptures. Listen to this. Behold, I have told you before. So, you see, he's telling you ahead of time. It's what we say about the doctrine. It's the old history. It's the whatever time period you live in. And it's what to come tomorrow. So there's no reason for us to ever be deceived. But 26, it goes on. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert. This is one of these antichrists, right? Go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers. Believe it not. Okay? So that you see, that would be the big deception there. That's Christ. See, that's what this Antichrist, he's going to say. He's the Christ, see, like Maitreya did. But how is Christ coming? Well, here it is in 27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even to the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And that is a clockwise motion like he did. Why do you think he's on the Mount of Olives, which is east of the city? You see? So when he comes, when he came in with that on the ass, that was from the east. And that's the way he's coming back in the last days, only in the air as the King of Kings there at his second coming. Okay, now here is a plain, simple statement about gatherings. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. So there, he's coming in 27, and 28 is the gathering. Beautiful and easy to understand. Now this next line is thousands of times in the Bible. You can't miss the day of the Lord. Immediately, in a new paragraph, immediately after the tribulation of those days, so that's all the tribulation up to this point of the second sickle, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. You cannot miss that day. So why in the world would anyone believe Billy Graham when he said that it's just Johnny-come-lately, willy-nilly, no one will ever know, tee-hee-hee-hee, giggle-giggle, things are going to go on forever? You will not be taken like a thief in the night. That is for the children of darkness. And I tell you, when it comes to that, I complained about using Thessalonians to say there's going to be a rapture, and sure enough, I clicked on here. Oh, there's going to be a rapture. What were they using? They were destroying Thessalonians, 1st and 2nd. They're still using it to this day as they hunt and peck and pull sentences apart to make it say that. And in order to do that, you just got to be not studying. Now this translators are talking about Mark, Luke, Isaiah, Joel, Ezekiel, all of those having this same sun and moon being darkened. You could go on and on with that same prophecy. You can't miss the day of the Lord if you know the Bible. Okay? So you've had the moon and the stars and the sun. And here is the sign of his kingdom. In 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. This is the last trump here, folks. 31, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. See, that ain't just here on earth. This is all creatures all the way to the end of heaven being gathered to Christ that are his. Okay, there's the four winds. Okay, we talked about that, and the four spirits over the throne. The dark, white beryl. And the black. 32. Now this is another thing. The red horse and all that, those are all his soldiers. Okay? You have the black, you have the black, you have the white, you have the red, and the pale horse. Okay? So he's gathering all the creatures from one end of heaven to the other. All right, so that's angelic host also. 32. Now we got to start thinking parabolic again. And use the seasons, as we were saying earlier. When it's winter, you have very few trees that still have the leaf. Okay, and then in the spring, things start to grow, and summer, and winter. Okay. Now this is another time that he's telling us to watch the signs of the time. A church that is not watching the signs of the time is a lukewarm church at best. 32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. Okay. Now when it says like, that's similitude. 33. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Now, does that sound like throw your hands up in the air, don't worry about that, willy-nilly? Well, that ain't what the Bible says. If you're not watching the signs of the times and the importance of his second coming and making that one great focal point of your ministry, you are working for the World Council of Churches, and in that case, it's the devil. 34. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. 35. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. So for all you Antichrist-loving preachers out there and theologians and you archaeologists that know better than everybody else, you'll never destroy the Word of God. It's here in front of me. It'll be here forever. You can burn 1,000 books. God will make 1,000 more. The doctrine, folks, will never pass. But you never pick the day and the hour. See, that's what the cultists do, Christian cult groups, like the Jehovah's Witness, and a ton more of them that followed right along with Taze Russell, the occultist. Yeah, he was the Russellites. So they changed their name. Now, see, that's another thing. Occultists love to change the name of their cult groups. And they do that intergenerationally, sometimes yearly. So in that case of Taze Russell and the Jehovah's Witness, they did that because they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar predicting the end of the world. You never pick the day or the hour. 36, new paragraph. But of that day and hour knoweth no man. No, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Okay, now why would anyone follow Taze Russell? Why wouldn't you run from anybody that said they were predicting the end of the world? Okay? It comes from people that just won't study. And if you tell them to study, they're going to get angry at you. But in 37, we can get a good glimpse of it if we study the days of Noah thoroughly. 37, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. 38, for as in the days that were before the flood. Now this is to the people, eat, drink, and be merry, and go on. It'll never touch us. Okay? They are fools. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, and given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Okay, so they're just stupid as stupid does. And buddy, there's a slew of them out here. And you go ahead. When they say they don't want to hear it, they mean it. 39. And knew not until the flood came and it took them all away. And that includes all them stupid giants, too. Did I say giants? That's exactly what I said. And that's the real deal. And you people out there that might be criticizing this ministry, you know I'm right. And if you don't know I'm right, then you really are a fool. The giants that archaeology has been suppressed. It has been hidden. The real history of the world's been hidden from us. Okay, but with all wisdom and understanding now of the doctrine, it can't be hid. 39. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So when we study Noah, we're studying what it's going to be like in the last days, and that includes the fallen angels mating with man and beast, messing with DNA that God created. 40, it says, then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. See, here's the gatherings. 41, two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. See, they were watching. They were out in the field. They didn't go back to get their best guitar or their shirt. They were watching, and they went on, come up hither. They'll return with Christ. 42, the number of months in the Great Tribulation. Time, times, and half a time. See, here's the watchful spirit that we should all have. I know you do out there, but I'm talking about to the other people that may be new at the Bible, and that's okay. At least you're started now. 42, new paragraph. Watch, therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. And watch out for those people. They'll come in here, Hunt and Peck Ministry, come in there and take this one line, and then the rest of the whole hour you'll have to listen to their gobbledygook as they destroy this line out of context. Because they don't read 43, where we have a little similitude about being watchful. How we don't get robbed because we're busy watching, because we knew that it was that evening, you see, that was going to be raided. There was a thief coming. You didn't pick the day or the hour. Anyway, listen to this, 43. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. So the whole idea is to watch. 44, and that makes you what? Ready here in 44. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. 45. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? There's nourishment, meat. Blessed is that servant, whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. So doing what? Watching. Go to the book of Revelations and look at the churches that were being condemned there. Real churches this time, for not watching. 47, verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. So there we go. There's a guarantee. You want not to be robbed of your liberty? Well, you're free with Christ here. Look at this. You're ruler over all your goods. 48, but, and if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken. See, he's a sleeping drunkard in the night. As this is all explained, elaborated on throughout the Bible. Notice he's smiting his fellow servants because there's no judgment coming. 50. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of. Okay, so there, see, we have a person that's not watching, and that's why he's going to get taken off guard. What'll happen to him? What will happen to the unwatchful people, the ones that don't care about prophecy? They've told me this for the last 40 years. 51. And shall cut him asunder. That means in two, or cut him off. And appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. And we just heard about them, didn't we? And here's what, when you hear these last words, you know that's hell. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay, folks, this is one of my favorite parts of St. Matthew. And we're getting ready to start another Sunday teaching of harmonization with all the prophets. That's going to be the Sunday call-in show. And people are welcome to call in and make comments and ask questions. So we're going to be going over this on Sundays. Not starting this Sunday. We're finishing up the first book in the Bible, which is Genesis. And we're going to be going to the last book in the Bible, the book of Revelation, only harmonized this time with the history books, the prophecy books, and the 77 books of our doctrine. I hope to see you there. I hope you've enjoyed this. And I hope your eyes are wide open, as all of us here at the table are. Okay. Catch you on the next podcast.